Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or The Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys my mid-round running back targets. These are going to be guys that I'm looking for in every single one of my drafts to draft around the middle rounds of the draft. So if you guys want to see wide receiver targets, I actually posted that video already 2 days ago, so make sure to check that out as well. And while you're down below, please make sure to click that subscribe button if you have not already, because I post content every single day until the end of the NFL season. I want you guys to take home that fantasy football championship, for you guys to be a champion. So we're going to go ahead and get that done on my YouTube channel. So right before we get into it, mid-rounds, running back targets. Also follow me on Twitter at NotoriousFNTSY. So my first guy here is Le'Veon Bell of the New York Football Jets. Now I know there's a lot of hate going towards Le'Veon Bell, and if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think that it is very unwarranted. Now this is going to be his second year as a New York Football Jet, and last season didn't go all that well, but part of it was because Sam Darnold decided to see ghosts one night, and the other night he was seeing some, I don't even know how old the woman was that gave him that mono, but the guy had fucking mono and he missed a bunch of games, so Bell was left for dead with these garbage-ass quarterbacks dumping him off the ball. Now he gets Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold can easily dump the ball off to Le'Veon Bell, and there's also going to be confusion. Oh, they signed Frank Gore. Nick, are you worried? No, I'm not worried at all. Frank Gore does not scare me at all. Frank Gore might take away some rushing opportunities, but someone was going to do that on the team anyways. Le'Veon Bell is still going to be getting 4-5 targets every single game that he could potentially catch and take you for those fantasy football points. Now, last season, I'm going to read off his stats, then give a type of deeper analysis on why I like him so much in the middle rounds. Last season, he finished running back number 16 in 15 games played, 215 PPR points, which is 14.3 points per game in PPR leagues, 245 rushes for 789 rushing yards, 23rd in the NFL at running backs, 3 rushing tutties, which is not that great, 66 receptions on 78 targets, 461 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown, and 4 total tutties for 35th amongst the running backs in the NFL. So, if I'm being honest with you, none of those numbers scream out as great. They scream out as average. So last season, I think he had the worst season he possibly could have had with what he was given. I think this season he bounces back, and even if he finishes running back like 13 or 14, that is still much better than where you're going to be drafting him. You're drafting him right now as like running back 16 or 15 off the board. He's a guy that a lot of people are sleeping on because, number one, no one likes the goddamn Jets because they end up always being overhyped and failing. Right now, most people probably think they're going to win the division, and they're not going to end up doing that. And now there's this talk of Frank Gore being there. And there's also the people who, when they get burned by a player like last season, people drafted Le'Veon Bell in the top 10, me included, and we got absolutely bent over and spanked by Le'Veon Bell and Adam Gase. Adam Gase probably snorted a line off of us right before he spanked us, but Le'Veon Bell didn't do all that great last season because he didn't finish as a top 10 back, but he was safe all season long, and I think that Le'Veon Bell is going to be an absolute safety blanket for my team that I can easily find in like the 4th or 5th round of my fantasy football drafts, and he may fall even further if people in your league all have that opinion that he is just washed up because he did not do what he did in Pittsburgh, in New York, and newsflash, that was kind of obvious because he goes from having one of the best O-lines in the league to having the Jets line and a coach who likes to snort lines. So I don't know. Le'Veon Bell, I think this season will finish much better than he did last year, and I think he's a very, very safe pick. So let me know down below in the comments what you guys actually think about Le'Veon Bell of the New York Football Jets. So my second running back here to talk about is Chris Carson of the Seattle Seahawks. Now, the reports are that Mr. Rashad Penny, the backup for Chris Carson, doesn't seem so healthy. He doesn't seem like he's going to go out there and get these early game workouts. Like, he's not going to be working into these early games because he's so fucked. He's not going to be getting a lot of this training camp. Many guys aren't going to be getting these training camps because of how messed up everything is with Corona. But even if it was going to happen, he wouldn't be able to get it. So now Chris Carson is in the backfield cluttered with who? DJ fucking Dallas? There was reports that Marshawn Lynch might come back. Did that come true? Not yet. So it's going to be the Chris Carson show yet again. Finished running back number 12 last season in 2019, and he has fallen way too far for my liking. Actually, I like the fact that he's fallen this far, but in reality, I think he should be going much higher than he is. Last season, 15 total games played, 232.6 PPR points, 15.5 points per game, 278 rushes for 1,231 rushing yards, fifth in the NFL at running back, 7 total rushing touchdowns, 27 receptions on 47 targets, 266 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, 9 total touchdowns, 10th amongst running backs, 7 fumbles, 4 loss. Now, I figured I would include the actual fumble total because he does kind of have fumbleitis, if I'm being honest with you. This guy has feet for his goddamn hands, but I'm not worried about it. I'm not scared about Chris Carson because I think that Chris Carson, even if he fumbles 7 times, Pete Carroll's just over there chewing on his fucking gum, and he just decides to throw him back out there, even though he looks scary as fuck, telling him to sit down for a couple of plays, and then he just brings him back in. He can't afford to bench Chris Carson until Rashad Penny comes back, unless they somehow sign Marshawn Lynch. So I think Chris Carson right now is a very, very safe pick going in the middle rounds on a team that is very run-heavy. If you know Pete Carroll's philosophy, it's to draft poorly in the first round and draft busts, draft great guys later, and just run the goddamn ball. He is the sole fucking running back of this team. They're not going to run a committee system because Penny is too injury prone for that. DJ Dallas is not good enough for that. And Chris Carson is too good to be put in a running back by committee system like his name was Miles Sanders. So I think that Chris Carson has an outstanding year this year. I think last season running back 12 is around his floor, maybe running back 12 to 15, but he's going much later than that. I think he has top 10 potential. If the Seattle Seahawks are playing great like I would predict they would in 2020, they had a great 2019 season. I think they look to build on it this year in 2020. I understand they have Russell Wilson, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, but Pete Carroll will commit to the goddamn run, and Chris Carson is very, very fortunate for that. So I like Chris Carson out of Seattle as my second running back that I'm targeting in the middle rounds. If you guys are enjoying this video right now, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below. Like I said, it's free, and we're going to try to win you your fantasy football championship. So my final guy on the list is a guy that I really do like to target, but he's not a target for me if you don't think you've drafted well enough up to this point. If your running backs are lackluster here, he's your running back 2, then I don't want anything to do with Jonathan Taylor. If he's your running back 1, run away. But if he's like your running back 3 or 4, you went running back heavy early, I think Jonathan Taylor is a great complementary piece that could be, come week 4 or 5, a RB1. Jonathan Taylor comes out of Wisconsin. This guy was legitimately a goddamn beast. You dump the ball off to him, he runs the ball. It doesn't matter. He runs the ball with ferocity. This guy was getting 300 touches a goddamn year. Some people will have the argument, oh, there's too much tread on his tires. It has not stopped him thus far, so why would I be worried that it would stop him now? He just hasn't gotten hurt, so why would I think that he would get hurt now? There's no reason to. In college in 2019 at Wisconsin, he played in 14 games, 320 rushing attempts. Like I said, he gets a lot of touches. 2,003 rushing yards, 6.3 per carry. 2,003 rushing yards. Some people watching this video might have been born after 2003. That man ran for that many yards. 26 receptions on 36 targets. So he's a guy who can obviously catch passes. He has 252 receiving yards in college in 2019 and 26 total touchdowns. Don't be worried about Marlon Mack. I understand that they are going to try to run a 1-2 punch system. 1-2 punch. You see how I use it? If you're watching this on the podcast, you can't see it, but I'm doing the air quotes because I don't fucking believe that. I think that they're spreading some lies to try to make Marlon Mack feel good. I think Marlon Mack is a talented running back. I think that he deserves to be a backup on a team, the second guy who's going to be getting touches because he's a very talented guy. But at the end of the day, Jonathan Taylor, they drafted this motherfucker in the 2nd round. He didn't get drafted in the 4th round or the 5th round. And us fantasy industry guys, fantasy experts, fantasy analysts, whatever the fuck you want to call us, I just don't think that, because these guys, normally fantasy analysts, we get so wrapped up in the name. Jonathan Taylor, if he got drafted in the 5th round, truth be told, you wouldn't want to draft him this early. But now, he gets drafted in the 2nd round. The Indianapolis Colts draft their guy. If you watch the video of the Indianapolis Colts selecting Jonathan Taylor, I'm pretty sure the GM and the coach absolutely came in their pants when they selected Jonathan Taylor. I think that Jonathan Taylor is such a talented back. They bring in Phillip Rivers. They have a pretty solid offense around Jonathan Taylor that is tailored to run. Last year, we saw Jacoby Brissett rock that hat that said, run the damn ball. That's how you win games in the NFL. In the playoffs, you run the damn ball, and you can win them in the regular season doing the same thing. Jonathan Taylor can catch it. He can run it. So I think that Jonathan Taylor is going to be very, very valuable for your fantasy team come week 5 or 6. Now, like I said, if you drafted a lot of wide receivers, have you drafted quarterback, a tight end early, then don't draft Jonathan Taylor. But if Jonathan Taylor is your 4th option, your 3rd option, I love that value for Jonathan Taylor because he is eventually going to just become the head honcho, getting all the touches on the offense. So I like to wait and get my guy in Jonathan Taylor in the middle rounds and just wait a couple of weeks, and he's going to be hot for your fantasy football team. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If you ended up enjoying, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below or on your screen right now on top of me. Check the video above, the video to the left, and the video to the top left. If you guys ended up enjoying, click that subscribe button. Like I said, I love each and every single one of you guys. Make sure to have a great rest of your guys' day. I'll see you tomorrow with yet another video. Good boy.